For this lesson, let's take trying to find something, in a sense, to a whole new level. We're going to talk about regular expressions. So if I go up to the word edit on the pull-down menu and go down to find and replace, we have an option here to use regular expressions. Now that's what we want to talk about. But I tell you what, before we get into it, I'm going to show you a couple. Let's go ahead and talk about what a regular expression is. So what exactly is a regular expression? They're also called regex in shorthand, if you will. Well, number one, they give you pinpoint control, like a laser beam, if you will, over your search parameters, which allow you to search for virtually anything that you want. In addition, they use code to achieve its goals. What does that mean? Well, it means that you have to learn, in a sense, the language of regular expressions. But believe me, although we're not going to really do that, it is not that difficult. Let me give you some examples here. I am looking for U.S. formatted phone numbers. That's how we do it in the United States. You have an area code, 316, which is actually mine in Wichita, Kansas. Then you have 123-4567. So you have 3 and 3 with a hyphen and then 4. That is a U.S. formatted phone number. Now, if I was looking for 316-123-4567, I'd go to find and replace and type that in. I'm not looking for that particular number. I'm looking for any set of numbers that are formatted that way. Now, this one's pretty easy. Let me show it to you. Here's the regular expression. \D, 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 space, \D and D and D again, hyphen, \DDDD. The backslash introduces something. In this case, lowercase d means something from 0 to 9. I'm saying find any numbers in that format. But let's make this a little bit harder. Sometimes we'll use the parentheses around the area code, the left and the right. So if I use what I had, the D and the D and the D, etc., won't find that because of the parentheses. So what do? Well, you trick out the code. You do this. You add it in. So now it is looking for a number that has the area code in parentheses. But guess what? It can't find the other ones if it doesn't have the parentheses, and I hate it when that happens. So if you've got both, and you're saying, we have to make these consistent, I have to find both, and the ones that are, say, 316 without the parentheses, I need to make them or put the parentheses in, but I need to see both. So we trick out the code again. Now notice the addition of the question mark after the left and right parentheses. What does that mean? With or without. So now if I use this, I will find the 316 in parentheses, and I will find the one that doesn't have the parentheses. Now we can do something else here. I call it shorthand. I don't want to put the D, D, and the D, and the D, D, and D, and then the 4 Ds, okay? So we do something like this. Basically the same, except after the first \D, we have inside of a brace, the number 3. The next one inside of a brace, the number 3. The next one inside of a brace, the number 4. What does that do? That means I want 3 Ds or 3 numbers, followed by a space and 3 numbers, followed by a hyphen and 4 numbers. Makes it easier to do. But you'll notice also I had to put the hyphen inside of a bracket. It's a code. Now, there are a lot of great places to learn this. As a matter of fact, O'Reilly does have a book on working with regular expressions. It's not as hard, anywhere near as hard as doing something, say, for example, like learning C or some of the other programming languages that are out there, new or old. But it does have its own world and its own language that you need to get into. But once you master it, you find anything you want. Now, let's get out of here. Let's go back into Dreamweaver, and let me show you an example. We are back in Dreamweaver with a nice friendly face staring back at us. Let's go back up to the word edit on the pull-down menu and go down to find and replace. And let's click use regular expression. Now I want to introduce you to 2 things we haven't looked at before, and that's these 2 buttons up here. This is for loading a query, and this is for saving a query. Inside of your working folder, I have given you the queries that I built and showed you in that presentation, just in case you want to use those as a kickoff point. But what I'm going to use is one we haven't looked at yet. Let's go in here and say load query. I'm going to go onto my desktop because that's where mine are, queries. Now there's the three we talked about for phone numbers. This is the one I want to show you. Duplicate words. That's a very common thing when you're working. Your brain hiccups and you type the same word twice, like and. Small words usually, but it's pretty common. Now notice the code is different, and I'm not trying to be coy here and say learn it yourself. But understand we could do an entire title with, say, 10 chapters just on working with regular expressions. But they are nice to know. What I'm trying to do is get you dangerous or curious enough to go further. This one looks for duplicate words. I do have a document open. I'm going to say find all. Now I did insert these in, obviously, to make this work. And if I double click on this one, there it is, and. I'm going to come over here and say, well, I don't need two of those. I'm going to select one and get rid of it, just like that. And let's see what the other one is. Same thing. I'm boring. And we'll get rid of that one by double clicking on it. So now we have corrected the problem. We can close this out right here. We want to save this document, obviously. And then we can close out of this. Regular expressions give you the ultimate power over searching inside a Dreamweaver. And as I said, O'Reilly actually has a really good book on working with regular expressions. What I really enjoy about Dreamweaver is the more you understand just some of the little features inside the program, and not just the big picture, but just some of the small things that go on in this program, it makes it more powerful, you become more productive, and your websites are better. It's a win-win-win situation, and we're going to move on.